He cooks for me every weekend." When Chae Soo-bin quietly dropped that sentence during a late-night interview, the room went still. Was it just a sweet confession, or the tip of a love story deeper, more intimate, and more unexpected than anyone imagined? Is really happening between Yoo Yeon-seok and Chae Soo-bin behind the cameras? Let's uncover the hidden truth, right now, with Hidden Korea. It started with a whisper, barely audible in the ambient hum of cafe chatter and clinking cups, the kind of moment that might have passed unnoticed. Not come from the lips of one of Korea's most quietly captivating actresses. "He cooks for me every weekend," Chae Soo-bin said softly, fingers gently tracing the rim of her warm citron tea. At first, the sentence floated like a casual remark, something sweet, even mundane. But the weight in her eyes, the controlled breath she took after saying it, something was different. The interviewer blinked. "You mean Yoo Yeon-seok?" A long pause. Then a smile, not of surprise or denial, but of acknowledgement. The kind of smile that doesn't need to confirm anything out loud, because the silence already screams the truth. And just like that, a curtain was lifted, not just on a relationship, but on a story few had seen coming, and even fewer were prepared for. A love story never meant for headlines. It wasn't supposed to be this way. They had starred together in a drama barely 6 months ago. The chemistry was evident on screen, subtle, intense, effortless. But fans dismissed it as just good acting. After all, both actors were known for their professionalism, not publicity stunts. But something had changed behind the scenes. Rumors began trickling in from set assistants, late-night rehearsals that didn't seem necessary, shared scripts filled with handwritten notes, the way Yoo Yeon-seok would always linger after filming ended, sometimes for minutes, sometimes for hours, until Soo-bin left safely. Still, no one spoke of it. There were no couple items, no joint appearances, just two actors who seemed, somehow, live when near each other. Until now, the kitchen as a confession booth. Hidden Korea reached out to a stylist who had worked closely with Yoo Yeon-seok during that time. "He became obsessed with cooking," she said. "It wasn't just a hobby, it was his love language. Quiet, consistent, and deeply personal." She described a man who would leave set and head straight to his kitchen, pulling out ingredients he had bought fresh that morning, dashi broth simmering, seaweed prepared just the way Soo-bin liked it. He wasn't trying to impress, he was trying to understand. Cooking, she added, was his way of listening to her without asking her to speak. Every weekend, without fail. Invite her over. No cameras, no staff, no social media. Just a table set for two, soft music playing in the background, and the scent of home-cooked jjimdak filling the room. The weekend she didn't show up. But love isn't just warmth. Sometimes, it is absence that speaks loudest. According to a crew member from the drama, there was a weekend Soo-bin didn't come. No call, no explanation. That Saturday night, Yoo Yeon-seok was seen walking alone near the Han River. No hat, no mask, just a hood pulled over his head, and a takeout bag in hand. He sat on a bench overlooking the water, quietly eating the meal he had prepared for two. It wasn't until later that people realized the bench he chose was the one where they had filmed a key romantic scene just weeks before. Coincidence? Unlikely. Beneath the calm. When asked about that moment, Chae Soo-bin's expression shifted, just slightly, but enough. "Sometimes I don't know how to receive that kind of love," she admitted. "It feels too good to be true. When something feels too perfect, I run." It was a confession few expected. Fans saw her as confident, grounded, self-assured. But beneath the surface was a woman still learning how to believe she deserved what was being given so freely. "Patient," she continued. "He doesn't push. He just stays. And when I pull away." The most striking thing wasn't the sweetness, it was the tension. The ache between two people trying to love each other not just through gestures, but through fear, through silence. The trauma of past relationships that still clung to their shadows. It wasn't always smooth. There was one evening, confirmed by an on-site staffer, when things cracked. After a late night of filming, Bin exited the soundstage visibly upset. Yoo Yeon-seok followed. Words were exchanged, but no one could hear what was said. What they did see, her throwing her script to the ground, and him standing motionless, fists clenched, didn't stop her when she walked away. The next morning, filming resumed as if nothing had happened. But in every scene they shared that day, their gazes held something new: tension, vulnerability, rawness. Fans praised the performance, calling it the emotional peak of the drama. But few knew they weren't acting. He rarely speaks about his personal life. To the press, Yoo Yeon-seok is composed, articulate, and diplomatic, always gracious, never giving too much. But according to those close to him, he is a man of great emotional depth, someone who feels too much but expresses too little. And when he does love it with a quiet intensity that leaves no room for games. Behind closed doors, he's not the man the public thinks they know. He doesn't just cook, said a close friend from university. He memorizes her food preferences down to how salty she likes her soup. He folds napkins differently depending on her mood. Notices when she's had a hard week just by the way she closes the door. So when Chae Soo-bin pulled away for the first time, Yoo Yeon-seok didn't chase, not out of pride, but because he knew she needed space. That's the hardest part, he once confided to the same friend. Not fixing things, just waiting. Trusting. He waits by setting the table anyway, by lighting the candles anyway, by preparing enough food for two, even when he eats alone. That's how he loves. In Korea obtained what appears to be a letter, handwritten by Yoo Yeon-seok, folded into a small moleskine notebook tucked inside his bookshelf, never delivered. The letter is dated 4 months ago, around the time of their rumored argument. It reads, "Soo-bin, if silence is your way of healing, I won't speak. I'll keep making your favorite gyre and gym every Saturday. I'll keep the spoon on the left, because you said your right wrist takes sometimes. Still play your favorite vinyl when the rice cooker beeps. You don't have to come back, but if you ever do, I want it to feel like you never left." There is no signature, just a pressed wildflower tucked inside the crease. A daisy, the same kind that appeared in the promotional poster for their drama, something fans once thought was just design aesthetic. Now, it means something else entirely. During production of the drama that sparked it all, there was a scene scripted but ultimately cut, a scene where the male lead silently prepared a meal while the female lead wept in the next room. No dialogue. Just silence, soundtracked by clattering pans and her muffled sobs. Yeon-seok wanted that scene to stay. Screenwriter revealed, he said it was the most honest moment in the whole script. Even fought for it during late-night script revisions, but it was removed due to time constraints. Ironically, that scene, the one never aired, may have mirrored real life more closely than anyone knew. At the time of publication, still no official confirmation from either of their agencies. However, fans have begun noticing subtle signs. A matching charm on their phone cases, a blurry photo taken in Jeju showing two figures who look suspiciously like them, walking barefoot along the shore, a post on Yeon-seok's Instagram featuring a half-visible shadow, one that matches Soo-bin's signature fringe. But beyond the speculation lies something more powerful, the lingering presence of two souls navigating love in the quiet, complicated space between fear and forgiveness. Not everything beautiful is meant to be shared, a fellow actor commented anonymously. Some people are just trying to hold on to something real in an industry full of illusion. The most unexpected twist of all. Just as we were preparing to conclude this piece, Hidden Career received an anonymous tip. A reservation had been made as a small, members-only hangout in BookCon. 2. Under a pseudonym only industry insiders would recognize, Yeon-seok's old stage name before debut. The meal, a traditional engagement course dinner with a private chef and a musician playing live pansori. Pictures. No media. Just a table for two, and a closed door. Is it real? Was it them? We may never know for sure, and maybe that's the point. Love, especially in the public eye, is rarely simple, but in the quiet corners of Seoul, over steaming bowls of homemade soup, handwritten letters, and unanswered texts, something unspoken continues to simmer. They may never post a photo together, may never confirm the stories, but somewhere, every weekend, there's a man cooking a meal with two spoons on the table. And maybe, just maybe, that's love enough. Korea will continue following this story as it unfolds, but perhaps, in the end, the most meaningful stories are the ones that never need to be told out loud.